We are going to look at basic course design within Canvas. And our goal here is to lay out how you would start from scratch in terms of a course that is either given to you through WebAdvisor or a sandbox course to play in, whatever it might be, but based on best practices and what is easiest for students to follow, and based on the CVC OEI course design rubric, we want to build a good course layout here for both instructor and student. And so the basis of that design is modules. And so when you go into a blank course in Canvas, this is the page that it lands on originally. And there's a reason for that. It lands in modules because that's the way we should be building a course, is in modules. And modules need to be done in a timeline manner. We don't want a module of all your PowerPoints, and then another module of all your videos to watch, and then another module of all your quizzes to take, and another module of all your lecture notes, and so on. That's still just sending a student on a scavenger hunt, trying to find each piece that they need for week 12 of your class. And so there's no reason to create things that way, because that's basically what exists in the menu on the left of a course. So there's no reason to build a module setup like that. We want to build a module design to where it follows a timeline for your course. We call it a course roadmap for your students to follow. It makes it so much easier for them to go through the material in your course. And so we're going to start out here, again, in this blank course, and we're going to create a new module, which you could click on this icon here. Or, as always in Canvas, in the top right-hand corner, we can add whatever we're in. We just happen to be in modules right now. So I'm going to add a module, and I'm going to start out with you can call this whatever you would like. I'm going to start out with a course information module. This is going to have my syllabus and my textbook information and those kinds of things. So I'm just going to call it course information, and I'm going to add that module. And so if you have not worked in modules before, this is a module. Literally, it is just a visual box that you're going to add things to create a linear format in here for your students to follow. Literally just an outline of your course. And so we'll come back to this in a minute. I'm going to continue to add modules just so you get the idea of where we're headed with this. And so most people here at Readly typically create their course content by week. Some people do it differently. Some people do it by topic or unit or chapter of their book. Some English instructors, English 1A, do it by essay number. So essay number 1, what do we do to prepare for essay number 2? So you can create your modules for the timeline portion any way you want. For this example, I'm going to use what most people use, and I'm going to use weeks. And so I'm going to call this module Week 1. It'd be good if you did a space-space or a colon or whatever. And then the title of whatever you talk about in Week 1. And so I'm going to just call this Introductory Vocabulary. And so whatever the topic of your first week is, there are options within a module. You can lock the module. So if you don't want your students to see week 12 before week 12 starts, then you can lock it until the Monday or whatever of week 12 for your students to see it then. So that's an option here. And adding prerequisites is also an option to where they must complete the previous module before they can start this one. There's also requirements that can be added to where you can, once you have things in the module, you can make it required to at least view, if not participate in, or score higher than, say on a quiz, 7 out of 10 or whatever, to move to the next element within that module. I'm not going to use those options right now. I'm just going to add this module. I'm going to add one more module here. I'm going to call this module Week 2. Same formatting, space-space. And I'm just going to call this beginning. Whatever you talk about in Week 2 of your course. that's what we want this to be titled. Okay, and so on. So literally, this is we're just creating an outline of your course. Week 1, this is what we do. Week 2, this is what we do. Week 3, this is what we do. And you just continue to add that to that outline of the course itself and build your course here. Right? Now, once you have some modules built, then within those modules, we want to add content, course content there. And so the way you add to a module is by clicking on the plus sign that corresponds with the name of that module. So in course information, to add something there, I would hit this plus sign right here. And this window pops open, and there are 8 things that you can add to a module. You can add an assignment. You can add a quiz. Now by quiz, we mean a quiz that they take in Canvas. If it's just a paper quiz, then that would just be an assignment. A file, so you can add a PDF or Word document here, or PowerPoint or whatever. You can add a page. Now by page, we mean that you're going to create within Canvas. You're going to go into that page and you're going to type information or add videos or add links or images or whatever you want to that page, but you're going to create that page inside of Canvas. You can add a discussion. Discussion is just that, a place for students and you to go in and discuss a particular topic, a prompt that you put out there. Text header is just that, just text. It's not a link to anything, doesn't add anything. It's just kind of a separator that allows you to kind of do a prefix to what's coming after that. I would not recommend using these other last 2 within a module, an external URL. If you're going to create an external URL, it would be better to do that on a page. And an external tool, I would do that somewhere else, typically in an assignment. And so for my particular one here, I'm going to do a file because I want to add my syllabus to this course. I'm in the course information module. And I don't know if you can see it here, but this kind of very small print here, it says select the file you want to associate with this module. So if you had uploaded, and that's an option in Canvas, I could go over here to Files, and I could go into Files and create a folder structure. I could add folders in there. Inside of those folders, I could add files so I could create a PowerPoint folder. I could create a video folder. I could create a lecture notes folder. I could create all those different folders and then put all my files in there. And then those files would show up in a list right here. So when I'm ready to add it to a module, I just find it in the list right here. Or in Canvas, you can do it this way. You can do it on the fly to where I'm just going to add that file right now. And by doing that, or in order to do that, I select New File right here. So I click on New File and notice this change down here to where I go and choose the file. So I'm going to go into my computer here and I am going to go find my syllabus that I want to put in here. It would actually be best if this was a PDF file, only because it would be more difficult for students to change a PDF file. But I don't have a PDF file of this particular syllabus that I'm looking at right now. It's just a Word document. So I'm just going to choose that. And notice it shows up right here. I'm not real critical about where that ends up, but if you do already have a file structure built, you can tell it what folder to put that in. And I'm not going to worry about indenting because I can do that later anyway. And so I'm going to choose Add Item, and that item will be added directly inside of that module. It does automatically publish it, and so because it's a file, we'll talk more about that, what publishing is here in just a minute. But I want to show you what students see when they click on this now. So in your course, when the student clicks on this, then they have 2 options for any kind of document: Word, PDF, PowerPoint, Excel file, whatever. Notice it does show up right here. So they can look at it right in Canvas. They can see, go look up something in your syllabus. They can see the entire document, scroll through it. If this was a PowerPoint, they can scroll through the slides. They can do it page by page here, or just scroll like I was doing. But they can also click up here where it says Download Syllabus for CTE Pathways. They can download that file, print it, put it in their binder, bring it to class every day if that's what they choose to do with their syllabus. And so you just need to know that it provides options for them. But that's how you put a file into a module in Canvas. So I'm done with this. I'm going to click back on Home because I have the default home page is being set to modules, so I go back to modules. And I can continue adding things to this. I can add maybe information, a page of information about my textbook. Maybe there's online resources for my textbook. I can provide a link for that, or student service information here, or whatever general information you provide to your students at the beginning of any of your courses. You can put that maybe in that first module there. And so I'm going to go ahead and move down here to week 1, and I'm going to add something to week 1. So I click on the plus sign next to week 1, and I am going to add a page here. And again, I haven't created any pages yet, so I'm going to say a new page, and I must name it down here. So I clicked on new page right here, and I'm ready to name this page. And this page is, I'm just going to call it topic 1, and I'm going to add that item to this module. Notice it's not published, and it's dark as opposed to green like this one up here is. And so all I need to do is click on the name of it. Notice I can't click on the icon for it, but the name of it. And when it goes in there, this is what the students would see for this page. Well, I haven't created any content for the page yet. So just as in anywhere else in Canvas, up in the top right-hand corner is Edit. So I'm going to click on Edit for this page. That would be true if it was a quiz, a discussion, an assignment, whatever. I would go in and hit that Edit, and this is what's going to show up in here. And actually, now that I see this, this is what's called the Rich Content Editor, and it has this menu toolbar up here, menu up here at the top of different things that you can add to any page within Canvas. And so I can just click in here and start creating text. I can add YouTube videos, I can add links, I can add tables, I can add my own video. I can record my own video in here. There's tools underneath this one, external tools. You can add things from the library. You can add things from your Dropbox. You can add things from Relay if you're a Relay user here on campus. Just lots of options for things that you can include in any page here. And just on the side here, this is the accessibility checker for anything that you create, any page you create in Canvas. So just so you're aware of that. And when I'm recording this video, it just happens to be the time where we're transitioning in this Rich Content Editor in Canvas. And so I am going to just save this for right now. And this is an option for right now, but this is going to become the default very soon. I'm going to go into the settings for my course. And in settings, under feature options, this tab, the last tab at the top, RCE enhancements, Rich Content Editor enhancements. I'm going to turn that on and just show you the difference in what that Rich Content Editor probably now looks like by default by the time you're watching this video. But I'm going to click back into that topic 1. I'm going to click back on Edit. And this is what the Rich Content Editor tool looks like now. And so they have summarized some of these tools in here to where like all the video options are underneath one button. All the link options are underneath, whether it's inside your course or something external. They've just kind of built menus out of each one of these options now. And in fact, there's more items here. And so you can create, again, whatever content that you want to create within Canvas. The Check Accessibility tool has moved down here. Here is the HTML. If you know HTML editing for web pages, you can create in HTML. These dots right here, you can grab and drag the window bigger so that you can see more of the content that you are creating. That's kind of handy. Yeah, so you can create whatever you need to there. The difference between save and publish, here's what I would recommend the difference. If I'm not done with this item yet, if I haven't completed, if I forgot a link, I need to go look up what that link was, so I'm going to come back to this later or whatever, I'm just going to save it for now. But if I'm done with this page and it's ready for students to view whenever I do publish my course and so on, then I'm going to say save and publish. so that it's ready to roll. I know that that's done and ready to roll within my course. So for now, I'm just going to save it. And you'll notice the difference. It's not published here. So I know that designates to me I need to go back in and potentially fix some things in there. Okay, or finish some things in there. And so this is how we want to design our courses. So within week 1, I might have a lecture here with some lecture notes. I might add a quiz. I might add an assignment in here. I might add a Who Knew It video series here. Whatever it might be. I'm just going to go through, add a discussion. I'm just going to go through and build my week 1 with my learning activity unit for my students to learn the information that I'm trying to get across to them. And I'm going to do that for all the modules within my course. The last thing I want to share with you, if you're not aware of the 3 levels of publish within Canvas. So if I were to go to this student view button right here, that shows me what students see in my class right now. So if I go there, it says no module. What do you mean no mod? I define modules. Why is it saying that there's no modules? Well, first of all, notice I do have this kind of pink purple box around my screen right now. That's what tells me that I am in student view and I cannot edit anything in my class right now. But I can go down here in the bottom right and leave student view, come back in the course, and notice that this symbol right here, kind of a not symbol, that tells me that this module is not published yet. And so if I click on that, that module is published, so I have control over the whole module, but I also have control over every item in that module. So this one happens to be published. I can publish this item, which automatically publishes this, but I'm not ready for that to be published yet. So I'm going to turn that back off again. And so now here's an example of a module published and an item inside that module published. Here's an example of a module published, but the item, the only item in this case that's inside of it, is not published. And then here's an example of a module that is not published. So now let's look at Student View and see how that changes things. When I go to Student View now, I do have this course information module and the item that's in it. Students can see that. Students can see the next module, but nothing in it yet. And students cannot see the week 2 module because I didn't publish it yet. So that has to do with simply modules and the items inside those. Those are the 2 lower levels of publish. Right now, students cannot even see my class right now, because when I'm at home over here, that's where I see this publish button. That publish is to publish the entire course. When I hit that, within a week of the semester starting, or within a week after it ending, but more importantly, within a week of it starting, when I click that, then students will get a course card on their dashboard in their version of Canvas that they can click on and go into my course. If I do not hit that publish, then they will never get a course card on their dashboard to enter my class. So those are some basics in Canvas, designing your course. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us instructional designers on campus, and we will help you in any way that we can.